The lab had always been too cold, not just in temperature, though the vents circulated an unceasing chill, but in its sterilized silence. The white walls had been scrubbed of their ugly history of failed testings, the vaults locked tighter than mason jars. Monitors blinked with data that could birth breakthroughs or bury them. The room pulsed with potential. Whether for greatness or disaster remained to be seen. Richard Reynolds stood at the main console, posture rigid, the back of his neck damp with sweat. In the chamber beyond the glass, Subject 12 let out a low, guttural snarl and hurled himself against the reinforced wall. Bloodshot eyes, splintered nails, dried gore at the edges of his mouth. Every breath rattled like a warning. Across the control room, Morgan Greaves muttered,
"He's deteriorating.
He scanned the vitals.
Heart rate spiking, neural activities erratic. If we don't sedate him, he's adapting."
Richard cut in. But even as the words left his lips, he wasn't sure he believed them. Chicago always felt coldest when you had something to hide. From the 11th floor of her studio apartment on Wells Street, Kreia stood by the window, coffee in hand, watching the steady churn of the loop unfold below her. Rain streaked across the glass, softening the view of Washington Street, where construction crews in neon vests clanged jackhammers, and traffic slowed around their work. The city pulsed with rhythm and contradiction, steel-gray skies and bursting color, tradition and rebellion, jazz and drill beats. It was a city that didn't just live, it pressed itself into your bones. Kreia turned away from the window and glanced at her wrist. Her Apple Watch lit up. 8:47 a.m. May 27, 2018. He would be at the tech store by 9. She had 13 minutes. As she moved through her apartment, canvases leaned against walls, sketches cluttered her desk, and a paint-splattered apron hung from the coat hook. Her fingertips brushed a canvas. Swirls of charcoal and cobalt bled outward. Grief and panic. The emotions always came out in color before they ever reached her lips. She didn't need to see his face to know it was him. She'd memorized every detail from the photo the Veltrix had given her a few weeks ago. The Mediterranean skin tone, a little over 6 feet tall, sculpted jawline softened by a scruffy beard. When he turned a bit, she noticed the natural warmth in his eyes, not the steel blue eyes of his father, Richard Reynolds. No, these were softer, kinder, perhaps his mother's. He moved on after a beat, and she let him go. Her heart panged with quiet warning. This wasn't her. This wasn't who she was.